Niagara Falls is one of the places on every traveler's bucket list. The beautiful waterfalls are located in Canada. Have you ever wondered what happens if you accidentally slide into Niagara Falls? Let us take a deep dive. Niagara Falls attracts millions of visitors across the globe. It is one of the main spots of attraction in Canada. Niagara Falls lies on the Niagara River between Canada and the USA. You may think Niagara Falls is one waterfall, but you're mistaken. It falls from Lake Erie and is divided by Goat Island. It first flows into a horseshoe-shaped waterfall called a horseshoe waterfall, and the rest flows to American Falls. The third one is a small waterfall known as a Bridal Veil Falls. People from all over the world come for history, romance, and mainly the mesmerizing view. Niagara Falls is a nature wonder that needs to be respected, praised, and protected for generations to come. It is also famous for the stunts people showcased over the years, like the rope artist who crossed the entire fall in a small line of rope and many others. Canadian Horseshoe Falls is around 57 meters tall and 67 meters high. Water rushes into the edge at a whopping speed of 68 miles per hour and drops around 2.8 million liters or around 700,000 gallons of water every second over the edge. It is thought to be the world's fastest moving waterfall. It is very hard to survive a fall, considering its height, speed, and power. But many people have survived the falls, and experts call it blind luck. The gushing water falls into the rocks and then into the stream. The water temperature below the fall is around the freezing mark and gets colder during the winter. It takes about 15 minutes to get out of the water, or else hypothermia kicks in. Hypothermia is significant and potentially dangerous to the body. You can be badly injured and can even have fractures on various parts of the body. The first person to survive a fall into Niagara was Annie Edson Taylor in 1921. She tested out her method first on a cat. Once it was successful, she got into an oak and iron barrel on her 63rd birthday and floated into the fall's edge. Luckily for her, nothing major happened. She later told she did this insane stunt to earn some money and fame. But unfortunately, it was all in vain. She didn't earn much and went into her normal life. In 1928, Jean Lucier tried an insane stunt. He crawled inside a large rubber and steel ball of around 162 centimeters, lined with 32 tubes. Lucier survived the falls and later went on to sell souvenirs for tourists. Bobby Leach became the first man to go over the falls. He was a circus stuntman and completed his first 2 challenges of going over the falls in barrels in 1908 and 1910. In 1911, Leach went over the falls and plummeted into the rocks, causing serious injury to his jaw and both kneecaps. He spent almost 6 months in the hospital. More than 16 people have jumped into Niagara Falls, and only half of them survived. Now you know how dangerous it is. Sadly, only 5 people survived an unprotected fall. The first one to survive an unprotected fall was Roger Woodward in 1960. He was also the youngest person to fall into the Canadian Horseshoe Falls. He was only 7 years old when a boating accident caused him to be swept overboard. He made it to the edge of the falls where he was rescued. He was taken to the hospital and treated for 3 days for a concussion. It is still known as the Miracle at Niagara. Unfortunately, the boat driver did not survive the fall. On his second attempt, Steve Trotter crossed the Horseshoe Falls safely. Police caught him during his first attempt. He was the youngest daredevil to make it over the falls alive at the age of 22. Experts say that these survival stories are just blind luck. More than 20 people jump into Niagara Falls each year to commit suicide. Avoiding the huge deadly boulders hidden under the falls is just blind luck. The currents, eddies, and winds around and below the falls are unpredictable, due to the amount of water being taken from the upper river by hydro companies, according to the late Wesley Hill, the foremost expert on the falls over the past 50 years. "My dad used to say that going over the falls was a fool's game, and he was right," Wesley said. Some say that the 40-kilometer-per-hour current washed all 3 of the most recent survivors over the edge after they all jumped over the railing close to the Table Rock House tourist attraction on the Canadian shore. Although Niagara Park's police sergeant Chris Gallagher, who looked into all 3, isn't certain, they were likely propelled clear of the rocks by air or water cushions. One of the most interesting things about Niagara Falls is the fish in Niagara Falls have adapted to resist the intense pressure from the falls. Over 90% of fish that travel down the falls survive. Fish that descend and flow with the waters of the falls, which are rich in oxygen and nutrients that support fish growth, are cushioned by the white foam from the falls. There are other unique animals at Niagara Falls than fish. More than 400 acres make up Niagara Falls State Park, which is home to a variety of wildlife species, including wintering gull and duck species. How to survive falling into Niagara Falls. Although following these will not guarantee you any safety, it is better to follow these things to minimize the damages caused and for survival. Step 1. Hold your breath. If you fall, take a deep breath and hold it. Most people scream at signs of danger. As a result, water will push into your body and lungs, causing fatal injuries and even losing consciousness. As you fall, the chances of hitting the rocks are very high. Recently, Kirk John jumped into Niagara Falls, but he survived and suffered major injuries. He said that after hitting the plunge pool below, the fall's hard water forced him out to some adjacent rocks, where he was able to climb ashore. He cracked his spines and bones. His family said it was a stunt done with intention. Jones said his fall was like being in a giant tunnel going straight down, surrounded by water. Canadian authorities took action against him and imposed a whopping $3,000 fine. He tried to perform the stunt again by sliding into an inflatable ball. This time luck was not on his side, and he did not make it out alive. Step 2. Feet first. Try to keep your body straight. You are going at a high speed of current into the falls. By doing this, your feet will take the major hit, unlike other body parts, which can have huge injuries. Step 3. Arms on the head. Keep your arms over your face to protect your skull from taking any hits. If your head takes any slight impact, the chances of losing your consciousness are very high. Step 4. Remember your swimming lessons. The high water current and deep water make it hard to reach the top. So, if you were to visit Niagara Falls, please don't jump, seeing it as a joke. Pay attention to the warning signs and respect the safety rails. Jumping is illegal, and you may face many serious consequences and a hefty $10,000 worth of fines. What would you do if you were in a similar situation? Let us know in the comment section below. Like, share, and subscribe, and turn on your bell notifications to get our latest videos. See you soon!